Hello and welcome to your yoga class. I'll invite you to start in a standing position with your hands in prayer pose in front of your chest. From here, we'll gently close our eyes or lower our gaze if that feels more comfortable for you. Feel your body and just take notice of what areas might need a little bit more attention today. After you've done so, I'll invite you to bring your hands out to your sides and make sure that your feet are hip distance apart, stretching out your toes, finding a nice grounded stance, making sure there's a slight bend in your knees, taking a deep breath here and letting your shoulders just fall away from your side, extending through the crown of your head. Your back is nice and straight here. Your chest is open. And bring your shoulders back and down in a relaxed position, but strong and sturdy, like a mountain in this mountain pose. And when you're ready, we'll begin by lifting our arms up over our head. And as you exhale, drop down into a forward fold. You can grab your elbows here. You can place your hands on your shins. As we inhale, we'll straighten our back and exhale, drop down once more. Shaking your head, yes, as you're in this forward fold, and allowing your body to sway side to side. When you're ready, allow your hands to find their way to the ground and bringing your knees to the ground. Sitting on our heels, allowing our back to be nice and straight, our arms coming out to our side, our hands facing the front. Reminding yourself that you are safe here. Just sitting on your feet. And when you're ready, you can swivel your legs out in front of you. We're going to bring the soles of our feet together. If you have any tightness in your hips, it can be helpful to place a pillow or a block under each of your knees, just for that extra support. We're going to rest here in butterfly pose for a moment, just feeling the spaciousness of our hips. And then when you're ready, you can start lifting your knees, acting as though your legs are the wings of a butterfly. It's always been one of my favorite stretches ever since I was a child. Now we can bring our legs forward and shake out our legs. Reaching your arms up and letting your chest come forward, reaching your arms towards your feet. Taking a moment here. And when you're ready, going back to center. For our next pose is a spinal twist. Bringing your right knee closer to your chest and then crossing that foot over to the other side of that left knee. Placing your left elbow against that right knee and your right hand behind you for support. Breathing in and then leaning into a spinal twist here. Looking over that right shoulder. And when you're ready, come back to center. Drop that right leg back to the ground. Bring that left knee over to the right side. And then bring your right elbow towards your left knee. Your left hand behind you. And when you're ready, spinal twist, looking over that left shoulder. Breathing in deeply here. Remember to keep your spine nice and straight. And as you come back to center, shaking out your legs once more. While you're here, just give yourself a little hug. It's nice to show some self-love in a physical way. Now we're just going to stretch out the neck so you can bring your head towards your left shoulder, and with that left hand reach over and just support your head a little bit. Maybe just place your hand there for some weight. Do the same thing with the other side. So bring your head towards your right shoulder and allowing your right hand to reach up and grab towards your head. Rolling your head from your right shoulder towards your chest, towards the left side. Doing a couple of those, and then allowing your head to fall backwards, looking up towards the sky, and bringing your head towards your left shoulder, around towards your right. From here, we'll come back into my favorite pose, butterfly pose. Allow your chest to start finding some natural movement, maybe lifting your shoulders all the way up as you breathe in, and as you exhale, just letting those drop by your side. We'll do one more. Breathe in, lift those shoulders right up towards your ears, and then exhale, drop them right back down. Okay, one more just for fun, and then shaking out that chest once more. Bringing the soles of your feet to the ground, allowing your knees to be bent. You can bring your feet towards your hips for a deeper stretch or further away for less intensity. And we'll windshield wiper our legs from side to side, keeping our hands behind us to stabilize. Allowing your legs to rest on one side for a moment, and then switching to the other side. And when you're ready, you can bring both knees out to the side and both knees inward. Feeling the stretch in your hips here. And then coming back to those windshield wipers. When you're ready, we'll come forward onto our hands and our knees. And we'll do a little cat and cow pose here. We'll make sure that our hands are directly under our shoulders and our knees are directly under our hips. You can tuck your toes here. We'll keep our hands and our feet firmly planted on the ground. And as we inhale, we'll lift our pelvis, curve our lower back. And as we exhale, we'll lift our spine up like a scared cat, tucking our pelvis and our head. Inhale as you lift your pelvis, curve your lower back, and bring your head up. Exhale as you lift your spine towards the sky. And find your own rhythm here, aligning your movements with your breath. So we'll be inhaling as we lift our head up towards the sky, and exhaling as we curve our spine like a cat. Now from here, I'll invite you to roll your spine around in a circular motion. So we're moving through cat and cow, but we're doing so in a way that allows our spine to feel the full rotation, moving from left to right side this time instead of up and down. And when you're ready, switch directions. We're just adding a bit of a dynamic movement to this spinal stretch. And then go ahead and sit back on your heels here, grabbing hold of the fingers, stretching them back, and then switching directions. Doing the same with the other hand, bringing your fingers back, and then bringing your fingers down and giving them a little push there. Grab hold of your hand with your other hand and just roll out your wrists together, making sure your spine is straight. Then bring your hands up and back and lift one elbow up towards the sky, the other one down towards the ground, and then switch. From here, we'll transition back into our tabletop. Lifting our knees off the ground, we'll extend into a plank pose here. You can keep your knees on the ground if you really need to. Then bend your elbows, and then slowly lower your chest down to the ground, lifting the chest up in a nice cobra pose, tucking the toes, and reaching back into a downward dog. From here, I'll invite you to press those hands down into the ground and walking out your feet. So raising one heel off the ground and then the other. Finding a nice bend in your knee as you do, and then switching sides. Lifting one leg off the ground, lifting the other leg off the ground with knees bent. finding a little bit more space between your feet perhaps. Just feeling the stretch that's possible in a downward dog. When you're ready, we'll lift that right leg up towards the sky and then bring it forward between your hands and then sweep your hands up. Your knee can remain on the ground, or you can take the full extension of warrior and lift your knee off the ground. And then bring your foot to meet the front foot. Give yourself a moment to just shake it out a little bit. Shaking the arms, then sweeping the arms all the way up, bringing them down into prayer pose, falling into a nice forward fold, allowing your hands to rest wherever they land, and then walking your hands forward to come back into our downward facing dog. We'll lift our left leg up towards the sky this time and bring that foot forward between the two hands. We can drop our right knee towards the ground, or we can keep on our back toes, whichever you prefer. And then if that back knee is raised, you can lower it down now. And then we'll straighten out that front leg, bringing our chest towards our knee, keeping your back toes tucked and flexing your front foot. When you're ready, we'll switch sides, coming through tabletop to transition, and then bringing the other leg forward, stretching it out straight, bringing our chest towards that knee. Flexing the foot really helps here. From here, we'll come back into our tabletop, and we'll sit on our feet, but this time we'll have our knees spread apart. I'll invite you to bring your hands into a circle mudra. A mudra is used in yoga as a placement for the hands. Alternatively, you can place your hands on your body to really feel into this level of safety that you're cultivating for yourself with this practice. Finding what feels good for us in the uncomfortable. Bringing our hands forward, keeping our knees spread apart. We'll bring our hands forward and shift our hips back. Bring our hands forward again, shifting our hips forward and back towards our feet. Finding the edges for you. The hips can hold a lot of tension and they can be very tight. So just giving your body an opportunity to stretch your hips in this way can be an invitation to feel a little deeper. Lean back, keeping your feet on either side of your hips. And just leaning back a little bit, this is an opportunity to explore a new movement position and see what you're capable of. When you're ready, coming back up to seated position. Sitting on your knees, bringing your hands to your heart, and then outstretching your arms and opening your chest. The next pose we'll be doing will be on our knees, kneeling, but lifting our butt off the ground this time, and just leaning back a little bit, finding your balance here, and if it's within your practice to bring a hand to try and find your ankle, maybe bringing another hand to the other ankle, and opening your chest here. We're not surrendering our head all the way back. We're in control of our neck here. And then coming forward, shifting your hips back towards your heels, resting your chest on the ground with your arms stretched out in front of you into a child's pose. Taking this moment to offer your heart a rest. Allow it to be held by the ground below you. Breathing deeply and letting it go. This is a practice for you to feel held by the earth. When you're ready, move through tabletop to a downward facing dog. And I'll invite you to bend your knees, bring your feet forward, and drop your hips towards the ground. We're keeping our knees outstretched here. It's basically a low squat. Bring your hands into prayer pose. And even if you're not religious, I'll invite you just to say a little prayer here. It can be a simple thank you. Anything's a prayer if you want it to be. And then sit down when you're ready. Grab a hold of your feet with your knees bent and stretch your legs, keeping a hold of your feet, making a V type position with your body. With your back straight, want to let go of your hands and just explore this core activating position. Bringing your knees in towards your chest, giving yourself a nice little hug in this very moment. Dropping your feet towards the ground. Now we'll come back to our butterfly pose, bringing our knees out to our side. Taking the moment to just check in. Hey body, how are you? Now removing the flesh from our sits bones. Place our hands on our knees. We begin to bring our chest forward and all the way around. So we're curving our spine here with this spinal rotation. Bringing our chest forward and around and caving it in and back. And you control the speed of this movement. You can speed it up or slow it down. And then remember to switch directions. Now in our butterfly pose, we're going to close our eyes. Take a breath. And when you're ready, we'll swivel our legs out in front of us and lay down on our backs to prepare for plow pose. Now, if you've never done plow pose before, it might seem a little strange, but our legs essentially are going to be over our head and our feet are going to be on the floor. Now, the main point of contact with the floor is our shoulders and our head. We'll lift our legs up off the ground now and bring the soles of our feet towards the sky. You are so welcome to stay right here, but if you'd like to take the full extension of the pose, we'll lift our hips up off the ground, bringing our legs over our head and allowing our feet to find the floor. You can place your hands on your lower back for support here, or keep them resting on the ground, whichever feels best for you in this pose. As we're in this pose, we're really focusing on the throat and the third eye. There's a bit of constriction here in this somewhat contorted position, but we're really focusing on that energetic center, the throat. And if it's within your practice today, you can lift your legs up in the sky for shoulder stand. Again, supporting your lower back here. This position is really conducive for energy flow to the third eye. And when you're ready, you can slowly and gently roll yourself back down to the ground, allowing your legs to rest in a butterfly pose while laying down and your arms to come out to either side. We're really just giving ourselves a moment to integrate that position. And when you're ready, slowly, ever so slowly, coming back up to our knees to set up for our headstand pose. If you've never done a headstand, please watch me first. We'll interlace our fingers and use that as a base to support our head. There's 3 points of contact here, our forearms and our head. We're going to just practice lifting one foot up off the ground, seeing how it feels to have your hips stacked over your shoulders. And if it's within your practice, you can lift the other leg up off the ground. Here I'm showing you what the full pose looks like. Making sure that you have a supportive environment to experiment with this position. And then coming down out of it and just letting yourself rest in a child's pose here, with your head on the ground, your arms out in front of you. Taking some deep breaths. And then slowly coming to lay on your stomach here with your arms by your side, resting your head to one side. We're taking a moment to integrate the headstand. The headstand is a great pose for feeling your crown against the earth. It can be a lot on the head, so making sure that we don't move too quickly after we practice this pose. And as we're laying on our stomach, we can switch our head to the other direction. So we're now laying on the other cheek to balance it out. Then using one arm to support you in turning over onto your back. Laying on your back, I'll invite you to place a hand over your heart and a hand over your stomach. Taking some deep breaths here. As you inhale, feel the pressure against your hand. And as you exhale, feel the deflation. Now bring your right leg up and across your body towards the left side. You can use your left hand to support it and outstretch your right arm towards the side, looking over your right shoulder. Finding a nice stretch for your spine here. And when you're ready, you can go ahead and switch directions, bringing your left leg over to the right side of your body, using your right arm to support it and keeping your left arm outstretched to the side, looking over your left shoulder here. And bringing your legs back to neutral, allowing your arms to rest by your side for a moment here. Then bring your right knee and your left knee up, but we're going to bring our right foot over top our left knee, bringing your right hand through your legs to grab a hold of your left hand behind your left knee. And then switching sides, so using your left hand to reach through your legs and grab a hold of your right hand just behind your right knee, with your left ankle over top your right knee, finding a nice stretch there. And then when you're ready, with bent knees, allow your knees to just rest on one another. Your soles of the feet are on the ground. Stay here for as long as you wish. And when you're ready to roll over to the side, you can. You can stay here as well, or you can meet me in a seated position for a little bit of sounding. We'll chant 3 ohms together. Breathing into Om. We'll do this last sounding practice for 3 rounds. I'll invite you to use your thumbs to plug your ears, use your pointer finger and your middle finger to cover your eyes, and use your ring finger and your pinky finger just under your nose, between your lips and your nose. Deep breath in, and when you're ready, we'll just go And when you're finished, we'll bring our hands to our knees with our palms facing up and just take a moment to integrate and to feel the difference internally after that. To close, we'll bring our hands into prayer pose. Namaste. The light in me honors the light in you. Thank you for showing up for this practice today. I appreciate it a lot. And I encourage you to flow through your life with more ease. Before we go though, if you'd like to shake it out with me, we'll keep our feet planted on the ground and bring a little shake to our body, whatever that looks like for you. Shaking out our arms, our shoulders, shaking our arms to one side and the other, getting a little funky with it. Bring a little smile to your face. Shake it over there, shake it over here. Lift one foot off the ground maybe, and the other foot off the ground. And then slowing down and feeling the change and the shifts in your body. Honoring the body for all that it's capable of carrying you through this life. Thank you for joining this tantric yoga practice. I hope to see you soon for our live ecstatic yoga experience. Much love.